working on a bunch of pom-poms for my hats. With craft fair season coming up, I have not had a lot of time to film videos. I have been working on making like beanies and headbands, and it's been really hard to find the time to get on YouTube. So, oh my goodness, kitty knocked over my camera mount. So today I thought I'd get on here and kind of show my process to making pom-poms. I know I made a video about it a couple months ago, and it wasn't really the greatest just because the needle I was using was way too thick. Like, I have a much smaller needle now, and I bought a bunch of fur. I've got like this really pretty fur. I've got white, and then I have pink. And with my process, when I'm making pom-poms, the first thing I do is I cut out enough for like 30 pom-poms. Like, I just cut out so many. So I'm going to move these out of the way and start with making a brown one. So you're going to cut some yarn, preferably a thinner yarn. This is a weight 3. And then we're going to thread it into our needle. I think threading it into the needle is like the hardest part of the whole process. Let go, kitty. Now, when you're starting to sew your pom-poms, you want to make sure your fur is facing downwards. So we're going to start right here and work our way this way. Of course, this is also a lot easier if you don't have a helper trying to grab your yarn every 2 seconds. All right. So we started there. We're just going to pull it through. And you do want to leave a decent tail on this end and one on the other one, because that is how we will close up our pom-pom. So what have you guys been working on? I know like a lot of people are working on pumpkins this time of year. So cute. And gnomes. Alright, we're just going to sew like this all the way around. You want to make sure your needle comes up in the corner and you're not like below the fabric. Just pull in here. This fur right here that I'm working with was from Hobby Lobby, and it was on sale this past week, so I got a square yard for, how much was it? It was like $13 or something like that, pretty cheap. And then the other 2 furs that I have in this video, well, this live stream, came from Joann Fabrics, and they were a bit more expensive, but it was more than a square yard, so. Alright, I'm going to take my needle off. Grab some polyfill. You're just going to kind of roll it into a little bit of a ball. Stuff it in here. I think I want a little bit more than that. Now I'm going to pull both of these at once while cramming in the polyfill. Pull that really tight. Now we're going to tie these 2 together. And with this method of making pom-poms, we will use these 2 strings to attach the pom-pom to your project, your hat, whatever you're working on. So we tie that up. And I always like to trim these so they're even. And then just add it to the pile of finished pom-poms. It's as easy as that. I really like this fur because it has like a little bit of an ombre effect. Really cute. Now I think I'm going to go in with some white. This white fur is also a lot longer than the fur I was just working with from Hobby Lobby. So the pom-poms always look like kind of crazy. I always have to comb them after I finish them. So again, we thread onto our needle, which that one has a lot of fur left on it from that last pom-pom. I do suggest when you're making pom-poms like this to use a thinner weight yarn. It makes it a lot easier to sew together, but don't make it so thin that your yarn breaks. So again, we want our fur facing down. So we're going to start right here. Leave a tail. I'm just going to sew all the way around again. I'm glad I'm not filming a regular YouTube video today because I would just go nuts with this cat. Like, he always gets right in the way as soon as it's time to film. Let go, buddy. Just gonna pull it through. Now, I have noticed that it's a little more difficult to make pom-poms with the Joanne fur, because if you look, like, the fabric on the back, it's smaller. Like, here you can see where it's woven, and here you really can't. It's just, like, a lot smaller to kind of try to sew through. Let go, bud. Do you guys have any helpers? Oh, thank you. This baby blanket is one of my favorite ones. I might keep it just in case I need it in the future, you know. The sparkly yarn is some of my favorite stuff, and I am so sad that Joann's only has it part-time throughout the year. It's about time to stock up again. They have it in stock, but it's like $6 a skein. If you wait a couple months, you'll be able to get it for $2 or $3 a skein, so... I bet your granny square blanket looks so cute. I love blankets like that. Like, they're so adorable. This Polyfill, the Crafter's Choice, is like some of the worst Polyfill I've ever worked with. It just, I know you can't really see it, but it has so many strings. It's almost like hair. I'm not getting that kind again. These, with the longer fur, I always like to shake them after I finish them to kind of fluff it up a little bit. Like, you can tell here, I was talking about how the white fur is longer. It sticks out more than this one does. Yeah. I don't know if it's sweet my kitty's helping. He likes to, like, always be in my business, which is fine, but sometimes he makes it a little hard to work on stuff. And I'm gonna go in with this pink fur. On the camera, I know you can't really tell the difference between the pink and the white so much, but I like to use this pink for my heart beanies that I do around Valentine's Day. I do have a bad habit of, when I'm working on pom-poms, cutting way too much yarn. Like, I always have a bunch I need to trim off. But I think that's because I used to use not enough yarn. So now I always, you know, just err on the side of caution. when I was cutting out these blocks to make pom-poms, Mr. Kitty here thought it would be a cool idea to try to attack the fur. I had fur all over. I had to vacuum, I had to clean him up. Like, he just attacked it and was trying to carry it around and kept stealing my squares and just hiding them. Oh my goodness, he had a lot of fun. So it is important when you're working on these to make sure you're coming up when you're in the corner. So let's see, today's Friday. Tomorrow I got invited to my county's Pioneer Days, and they asked me to do some demos. But listen to this, they asked me not to bring my knitting machine because Pioneers didn't have them, which whatever. So I have been working on a bunch of headbands, but I've only been half finishing them. I just have a pile of headbands next to me with only waste yarn, like they're not finished, to go and work on up there tomorrow. But it'll be a good way to kind of advertise and get my products out there a little bit. I don't know, they might cancel it. It's an outdoor event, and it has been thunderstorming here for the past, like, 2 days. Buddy, can I have that? Thank you. Good boy. Hey. Make sure that hair is not tucked up in there. You know, I bet the first person to make, like, pom-poms for hats probably got judged so much. Because, you know, it probably wasn't fake fur. It's probably like, oh yeah, look, I put some fur on this hat I made. You know? I think it'd be pretty cool to read up on the history of things like that. I have a couple of times made it to this step and then my yarn burst. Not good. So I went to Hobby Lobby 2 days ago, and they were having their dye lot sale. I got 13 skeins, I think, and it was only $30. Such a good deal. I was so happy. So here's the two beside each other. For my pom-poms, I do use squares that measure 4 by 4 inches. But it looks like the Hobby Lobby fur is just like so much fuller. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just looks fuller to me. That's what I have so far. And right here is my pile of stuff to work on at that Pioneer Day. I'll show you some of that. This is going to be a beanie. I love this yarn. Like, I got that on clearance, a whole skein, for $1. That is so good. And then this is going to be a hat. I think I'm going to use a pink pom-pom with that. Either pink or the white. I can't really decide yet. Probably pink. Pink looks pretty good. And then here's a headband. What do you think? Do you think I should sell like the headband and hat together as a set? Like this headband will match that hat too. I'm not really sure what I'll do yet. And then here's another headband. And I really like this yarn. Look at that. I think I will take this beanie here and kind of show you like how I attach my pom-poms, because I don't really show it that in depth in most of my videos. I usually cut the camera out. So I'm going to go ahead and close this into the hat. Not the best choice to do this over the sparkly background that matches the hat. Alright, and tuck this in here. Well, around me, a lot of the school children went back to school this week. Kind of a fun time of year. So, you know, summer's winding down. Everyone's looking forward to fall. It has been so hot. Like, it seems so crazy to be working on beanies and headbands and stuff when it is this hot outside. Alright, I'll tuck this up inside of here. I did not leave myself a very long end on this one. Alright. One of my yarn needles, I was working the other day and it busted right there. I guess I just wore it out. So I'm going to go through the middle here, and we're going to make sure we go through the middle on the inside. And then I always like to thread through the yarn from the middle as well. Through the middle. And up through the middle. Ooh, lost one. Gonna go down. I'm going to tie a little knot. Sorry, excuse me. Now for my pom-pom. I think I will do pink on this one. So I'm going to thread both ends of the pom-pom onto my needle. And twist them together so they fit on there better. If you are looking for different types of hats to work on, I do have a tutorial for heart hats on my channel. I have buffalo plaid. I have like a checkerboard pattern. I have a heart hat that's like lines and then hearts. I'm trying to work on a bunch of different Fair Isle to kind of give you guys different options to use solid color yarn on hats. I'll show you really quick over here. This is a pattern I've sketched out for another hat. This is going to be kind of like ombre hearts. I just need to take the time to film a video for that. So when I'm attaching pom-poms to make them really, really tight, I tie one end of the pom-pom to one yarn from the hat, and then this one to this one, because it pulls it in different directions and makes sure it's tight against the hat. And then of course I tie all four together. Nice and tight. Cut. And shake it a little bit. And see, with sewing it on that way, that's nice and tight. Kind of fluff your hat out a little bit. And so that's how I make and attach my pom-poms. I hope that was helpful to you guys. I do need to redo my pom-pom video because that was kind of bad. I do suggest the Hobby Lobby fur over the Joann's fur. You can tell a big difference in, like, this one just kind of looks thinner, you know what I mean? Versus the Hobby Lobby yarn, like, this looks really full, and that was from the same size square. I don't know. They do need to be combed out. But that's all I have for you guys. I appreciate you guys hopping on here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on any of my past videos. I do tend to be pretty responsive with those. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy crafting, everyone.